What about now? 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 Hello. You should. I'm glad the concert was good. It will take some of the sting off of your exam grade. Sorry guys, I had unplugged my mic, and so when I plugged it in, apparently it didn't. What? Why are you still there? Like, do not stalk those people. Hey guys, yeah. So I'm grading. I hate grading. It's my least favorite thing to do. And I just finished watching Singing in the Rain while I was grading, and I was like, do I want to put something else on or go to a sprint? I'm addicted to these sprints now. Like I can't work by myself anymore. So bizarre. So I'm glad you guys made it. Today was the first day without kids. Yesterday was enjoy your stalking. Thanks for dropping by. Let me know if you happen to, corner one of them in an alley. So welcome, guys. Today was the first day without students. Yesterday was their last day, which is it's just usually glory be in the saints be praised. But this year, like, sad. It was kind of like, man, my students are gone. Which, so I worked in an empty class today, which is just bizarre. Because my class is never empty anymore, as I've discussed. If you saw on, I guess it was Alex. I guess it was on Jimmy's stream when I was talking about how I used to have empty classroom and now I don't. There's kids in there all the time. But not having the kids makes me realize how much I strongly dislike many things about my job. I got to school. I walked in with my buddy Bell, who's the engineering teacher. Walked into school and they were wheeling out his computers because they had just replaced his computers with new computers, his whole room with new computers. And I'm like, Bell, are you freaking kidding me? He's like, I haven't changed them in like 8 years. I'm like, Bell, I've been here 10 years and I'm on the exact same computer I was when I started. I have one computer and it's my computer. And I don't even need it to be fancy. It doesn't need to run Inventor like his does. Because then I learned that not only did he just get new computers, each one of his computers is getting a second monitor. And I can't get a better computer than what I'm running it on. Because it doesn't need to be fancy. I just need it to not take 20 minutes from power to PowerPoint. Currently in the mornings, I get there early to work. Like I am always at work early to prep for the day. But I lose 20 minutes because from starting the computer until I can get PowerPoint or Word open takes 20 minutes. And that's not acceptable. Like that's ridiculous. So, and I'm like, Bell, what the crap? Like, how do you get these freaking computers? He's like, that's CTE money. It's federal money. I'm like, Bell, you can't give me one. Like, what? Give me one of the old ones. There's better than one I got. He's like, I can't. CTE, like federal government, like CTE, which is certified technical education, something like that. It's like construction and engineering, which is what Bell teaches. And then like the class where they get certified in Microsoft Word. So can you use the functions of Word? They get money. My buddy Bell gets he gets freaking a bunch of money a year because, he teaches something that matters, right? And so it's just like every time I begin to like feel good about what I do, I realize, oh wait, no, what I do is literally irrelevant to everyone, which is infuriating. And so I was mad about that for a while. I'm just like, what the crap is this? And then I had to read some comment about something about student loans and someone saying something about like people with degrees with poor earning potential. And I'm just like, shut up. You have like, your mom has poor earning potential. How about that? Like, shut up with your poor earning potential degree. Like, why does everyone have to be reduced to earning potential? How about this? What if we had degrees that had like poor douchebag potential? What about those? Like, what if we had majors that had poor douchebag potential? I would love that. What if we got some more of those? Get out of here with this crap. Like, just dumb. Just dumb. No. The computers will be destroyed before they go to me because of funding. The way funds are distributed is dumb. It's whatever. And I can't even bring my own laptop because my laptop can't attach to the no, we don't need any of that. Earning potential. I can't even attach my computer to, like, I can't bring my laptop. My laptop boots up and I can open Word within 30 seconds of turning it on. But they can't install the security software. Like my computer doesn't have the security software of the district, so I can't bring that one. So I won't be able to hook up to the dang network. And if I'm attached to Wi-Fi, I can't do anything because the Wi-Fi blocks every bloody thing. So it's just a pain. It's just freaking annoying. It's just so annoying. And here I am. I've got so many grades, guys, and I hate it. Like, I hate grading papers because grading, it just makes me mad. Like, grading just makes me mad. Most teachers don't take it personally. And I wish I could not take it personally when my children do poorly. But it makes me feel like I'm a bad teacher because it's like, if I was a good teacher, clearly they would get it, right? Clearly it's too freaking hard. Clearly they wouldn't have this grade. Like, look at this paper. I want you to look at this paper. You don't even have to see it. Just look at it on red marks. Look at that. You don't have to, like, no, don't focus on it. Just look. You see all that? Look at that. Like, what am I supposed to do with that? Congratulations. You got a 30 on your final. Done. She's like, what am I supposed to do with that? So it's just frustrating. It's just frustrating. So I hate doing grades because it takes too long because there aren't enough papers that are really good. So you can just, like, you don't have to freaking sit there and take forever to grade them because you don't have to mark everything wrong. And then it's just like, what is even the point of all this? In addition, really, I don't actually need to grade anything to know what these kids have. I predict what they have. Like, I can predict, like, because I'm a good teacher and I observe my classroom and I talk to my kids and I know their ability. So I can tell you exactly what grade they're going to have. And then their grades will prove that. But I have to have the grades because in case they're like, I don't deserve, I'm like, yeah, you do. Here, let me show you the paper. Even though I didn't need to grade this to know what this kid has in my class. Like, it is really, like, with like 98% accuracy, I can identify A students, B students, C students, D students, and F students before I grade their paper. But I got to grade them anyway. Like right here, this paper I'm grading right now is an A. It's an A. I haven't graded it yet, but it's an A. And let's see if I'm right. I'm going to grade this right now. I'm going to tell you, see if it's an A. Hold on. Okay, the front, they missed 1 on the front. There's 100 questions in this bloody thing that have to miss 10 on the back just to knock it an A. Let's see. Boom, 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 boom. Correct. Bunch up your dang writing here. Can't even read this. That's correct. That is not how you write Roman numerals. 6 Ides of October, 6 days for the Ides of October. If you would like to do what they were doing, I blow my nose. Hold on, guys. There. If you would like to know what they are doing on their final, I have a video, something about Roman misconceptions, where I talk about the Roman dating system. And that's was part of what their final was. Do I talk about grading papers that often? It just makes me mad. Let's see. Hold on. I gotta prove that this is an A. Hold on. Where progress go? Yeah, I mean, that's right. Yeah, good. And then I asked them. The last question was, what advice would you give incoming Latin students? Hold on. This one says incoming Latin students should know all of their vocab well at all times. Interesting how I say that at the beginning of class, at like beginning of the year. So far I've got don't talk when Walker's talking, no profanity. It's true. Do your homework and study for everything. Don't be scared to ask questions. It harms you more than you'd think. Correct. Study your vocab. It's literally on every test. Correct. Always stay on top of your work and always study. Make sure you know your vocab and don't procrastinate. Study a whole lot. That is my only advice. I like this one. Show up to class, study a lot, use Quizlet, pray. That's not true. That one's not accurate. If you are willing to work and are a good person, join and compete in our JCL. It will make the class easier and is so fun. If you know your vocab, it can help you test. It can help your test grade a lot. That's what I've gotten so far. And yes, that paper that I said was an A, it is in fact a freaking A. Didn't need to grade. Didn't need to grade. Know the student. Know what they were going to get. This one right here, they're about to grade an A. About to grade another A student. I don't need to grade this to know that. Okay, missed 3 on the front. The chance of them missing a bunch on the back is almost nothing. Exactly. Really, extra credit. You get extra credit for like repeating like awesome things that. Yeah, I know. I haven't started the sprint yet, but it's just I'm just irritated. First of all, it's I don't know. It's lonely in my school, like without my kids, because again, I'm used to them being there. So being there, like I got nothing done today. Like I sat in my classroom and was cold because it was the coldest freaking day. I don't know why it's so cold in the school. It wasn't cold outside. It was so cold in the school. And it's the one day I left my jacket. I bring my jacket when it's 90 degrees outside. I always bring my jacket. I'm always cold in the mornings. It's cold. It was uncomfortable. What up, Kai? And like I just sat there and procrastinated and did things that weren't grading. And I hate that. I just didn't want to do it. I don't want to do it now, but I have to because I get these bloody grades in by tomorrow at 4. So I'll literally get up. I'll get up as if I have a school day. I'll get up at 6:30 tomorrow and I'll get to school by 7:15. And I will literally grade from morning to night. And it's just so boring. It's so freaking boring. So what I need to do, what I may end up having to do, I may have to freaking bribe one of my students who's off and be like, hey, I need you to come up here and help me grade these papers. Because I have like TAs who help me grade stuff. I don't let any child who is not beyond 100% trustworthy touch a paper. Never. But I have some, I have the really good ones. Yeah. I mean, I agree. Like, the frustrating thing is like nothing I do is ever going to make me any more money. I'm never going to earn more money by working harder. But I care about what I do. So, and like, I wish I didn't care if they did poorly, but I definitely care. It's so frustrating. So I gotta grade these dang papers and just be like, oh, well, that's an F, that's an F. And then I'm gonna get a whole bunch of emails being like, why did I do poorly? And it's like, why you did poorly. Like, I'm sorry, memorizing a state motto. Memorizing a state motto is not objectively difficult. It's not. The amount of freaking song lyrics that these children know, or the amount of like crap they can quote from Bridgerton, like you can memorize a state motto. You just didn't want to. And I'm sorry that you have to memorize some stuff. Like, I'm sorry. I am so sorry that you have to memorize something. I know that educational policy says that I should never make them memorize anything because rote memorization is, taboo. Don't ever make them memorize anything. It should all be student-led, whatever. Okay, if it's student-led, they won't learn anything. They won't learn anything. Ask the student-led class. Ask the kids in the class that was student-led. Ask them if they learned anything. They didn't learn jack squat. Oh, okay, guys. I need y'all to be honest right now. In the chat right now. You can't lie. I need you to be honest. Yes or no? Do you right now, without looking it up, honor system, do you know which months of the year have 30 days and which of them have 31? Do you know that without looking it up? Please let me know. And then respond. I mean, you don't have to do this, but respond with how old you are. I'm curious. Yeah. So this is one of the things that when I first started teaching dates, I took 100% for granted. Yeah, okay. So any of my students that do know it because of the knuckle trick. Um, but so yeah, I know it, Mike. I know it now that Jerry said your name, thank goodness. I know it because of 30 days, half September, April, June, and November. Um, the students that do know it from the knuckle trick, but most of them don't. And I take stuff for granted all the time, like in my classroom, as far as general knowledge is concerned, because there's stuff that like I was taught growing up that these kids aren't taught, or or whatever. Like for example, in the very first lesson, we have sentences like, Sicilia est insula, which is Sicily is an island. Graecia non est insula, which is Greece is not an island. And then it's like Europa non est insula, Europa est patria, which is Europe isn't an island, it's a country. And then it asks, like it literally say esne, which is question mark, esne Graecia in Europa, which is Greece in Europe? And I stop them and I say, I want you to raise your hand if the answer to that question is yes. Is Greece in Europe? And every year, half of the class will raise their hand, like they're not even confident, but half the class will raise their hand and say yes. Half the class will raise their hand and say no, that it's not in Europe. Greece is in fact in Europe. Greece is in Europe. I just assumed that everyone knew that. If you don't know that, I try to tell the kids, like, if you don't know that, okay. Like I just assumed that everybody knew that. Same thing with the months. I assume that everyone knows which months, because I mean, you live through them. I don't understand how people don't know that, because you live through them. But then, brilliant kid of mine points out, like, Mr. Walker, like when have I ever needed to know that? I'm like, so on the 30th of each month, you go to sleep not knowing if the next day is the next month or the same month? How do you live with such uncertainty? So there are so many things that I assume that has like general knowledge, and I'm wrong. So I have to remember to be really like to talk about general knowledge stuff in my classes, because otherwise like stuff goes over their head. I do the Winston Churchill test. These are kids who have gone through U.S. history, AP U.S. history. And so like every year, maybe every other year, I ask them, like, raise your hand if you know who Winston Churchill is. And like it's lasts every year. Like this year, like in the class I asked, one of the classes, all of them would have known, because like all my really, really bright kids got in one class. But like 1/3 knew, 1/3 of 30, so maybe 10 in the class of 30 knew who Winston Churchill was. I just assume people know these things. So, yeah, Michael Knapp, what is up, my brother? So yeah. Greece is in Europe. No, my students don't know that, but Greece is in Europe. Now, my students in my classical studies class, they not only, Vince, what up? Vince will testify that my kids not only know that Greece is in bloody Europe, they also can tell you, like, definitively the geography of Greece. They can tell you where those freaking cities are. They know what the Peloponnese is. They bloody heck know where the Hellespont is. Like, I told them last day of school, I'm like, so help me, if y'all ever forget where the dang Hellespont is, I will appear, and just like Cletus the Black during the Battle of Granicus River appeared and cut off Spithridates' arm to save Alexander, that will be me. I will just appear out of nowhere and I will cut your arm off. So we talk about the Hellespont region so bloody much. It's called the Dardanelles now. So you might not hear it as the Hellespont. It's called the Dardanelles. But if you hear the Dardanelles, you be like, that's the Hellespont. If you forget the Hellespont, I'm going to be angry, because we spent so much time in the bleeding Hellespont. Every one of them knows where freaking Byzantium is, aka Istanbul. They all know where Athens is, Thessaly, Macedon. And if they don't, I'll be very angry. We talk like there's so much great geography and classical studies. We have to. Yeah, yeah, it's frustrating. Yeah, I always like with time zones. Like I think back when TV was live, people were more cognizant of um, of time zones because you had it's 8 7 central or um 8 central 5 Pacific or whatever, you know what I mean, or like sorry 8 Eastern 5 Pacific when it used to say when something would come on. That's how I learned the time zones from watching TV. Is I knew this was going to come on at this time, my time. It was 9 o'clock Eastern time, and then I knew freaking California crap came on 2 hours early. That's why I learned it. Yes, thanks, Vince. Yes, Vince actually named his Chihuahua Pericles. Pericles is a great man. Oh, Vince, you would have. We met some more awesome people this year that you would have loved. Yes, yeah. I mean, yes. In you haven't even finished. You just read Morningstar, and we lamented it together. Finish reading the other two. So yeah. So that's what's going on. Yeah, so I mean I rant about this in my classroom all the time that and I mean it's a problem with the culture in general is we don't feel like knowing stuff is valuable. You know what I mean? Like because we can look it up, we don't see any value in actually just knowing it, which I disagree with strongly. I think there's value in knowing something rather than having to, you know, Google something or look something up all the time. You know what I mean? Um, who knows? Nice. Yeah. Yeah. We'll be sprinting here in a minute. I'm gonna be up late because I gotta get some of this work done. Like I don't have time. Like I don't have time. Even if I start at 7 in the morning, I don't have time to finish everything. Um, yeah, I completely agree. Like I completely agree with that. Um, so it's just frustrating. And the culture witches and moans. Okay, so if you listen to anything in the culture witches and moans about how kids don't know anything. Kids don't know anything. Oh, kids don't know anything. You're right, they don't know anything. But the problem is that the culture doesn't value the people who are teaching them anything. Like the culture doesn't value education. We signal to them. We tell our children through, you know, if not our words, it's the words a lot of times, but not just our words, like through our actions and the way we treat teachers and the way that we don't pay them anything. Like we signal to them that it doesn't matter. Like your education doesn't matter. It's a freaking stopgap between you and your multi-million-dollar career. Um, so if like quit your witching, like if you're upset that kids don't know anything, stop demonizing education. Stop it. Um, I mean, oh yeah. Oh, like from the school, like some candy and like a gift card to like I think it was random. Like I got a Dairy Queen gift card. I don't eat a Dairy Queen like ever. And there's a freaking ice cream shortage in my dang town. Talk about that a different time. um, so it's just frustrating. It's just frustrating. I've told my kids before, like anytime I tell them something, like give them advice, they don't believe me. And I'm like, the problem is that I don't make enough money. Like if I was a neurosurgeon, and I made 500, $300,000 a year, whatever. If I made 300 grand a year and I was telling you this exact same thing, you would listen to it. Like you would believe what I am saying if I made 300 grand a year. But because I am a teacher, my words don't mean anything. Like the advice I'm giving to you is not meaningful to you because I am a teacher. Because if I know so much, why am I a teacher, right? The irony is that it's my job to teach you crap, but you're going to listen to what I'm teaching you less because I'm a teacher. Oh well. Oh well. Yes, I didn't even get an apple. You know, I. What do I get for my students? Nothing. What do they have? Nothing. That's weird. I got a cake. Rachel made me a cake, and it's a really good cake because I requested it because she made a cake for Harry Styles' birthday back in February, question mark. I don't care. And brought it to school, and I demanded a piece of cake, and it was really good. And so then I commandeered the whole cake. I requisitioned it, the rest of that cake, and I took the rest of the cake home and ate it, and it was delicious. So I said, I need a Harry Styles cake, please, for teacher appreciation. And so so it was delicious. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. And so 100%, 100%. My first year teaching, I had a kid for their finals staple a $20 bill to his freaking exam that I had to tear off and hand right back to him. There are teachers at my school. There have been teachers at my school who have sold grades for money, which is the most pathetic thing I've ever heard. Like, you're a disgrace, like a disgrace. It infuriates me. But it is what it is. Oh, Mike, yeah. I have definitely seen you on your videos before, talking about having to help your wife with the grading. Yeah, so like the thing is, the front is scanned. I can scan this part, but that's just this test. But then I got to grade the bloody back because I don't make everything multiple choice. And then then it's just like, oh, look at this. This has like 8 multiple choice, and the rest I got to freaking grade. Ugh, stupid Latin. Dumb class. Rome's Republic. Okay. Rome's Republic began. The answer is in 509 BC. I have a question on here that should be a freebie. At the end, it'll be, what year was Rome founded? It's 753 BC. It's the date I say more than any other date in ever in class. A bunch of people will miss it. Okay. Rachel, the champ that made is the one that made the cake. Is that with Nick Cage? No, I don't make everything multiple choice. First of all, multiple choice tests take a really long time to write. In addition, my students actually hate them because with a multiple choice test, what's up, Riley? With a multiple choice test, if you get one minor grammar thing wrong, the whole thing's wrong. When they're not multiple choice, when I have sentences to translate, like long form, then I give partial credit. So grades tend to be better on non-multiple choice tests, at least as far as Latin is concerned. Now I give multiple choice on that checks out. So it's just annoying. Let's see what the advice on this paper is. This is going to be an A, but let's see what the advice is. Do not wait until the day before the test to study, and always study new vocab as soon as you get it, as a pop quiz is surely coming. That is correct. Oh, gotcha. Oh my gosh, you can give me a Bridgeton book and I'll read it. So I'm just going to grade. What's up, Jago? How are you? So I'm just going to grade here in a minute because it's been 30 minutes I've been ranting about education, and it's just frustrating. It's just freaking frustrating. And the problem that I'm having currently is, well, I should save something for the next talking part. Let's work then, guys. Let's do some work. Nice. I know. I am behind. I'm gonna read the novella as soon as I finish the book that I'm currently reading. Casting me as Nick Cage, not Nick Cage as me. A screenplay of my life and struggles. No. Oh, you're gonna cast Nick Cage as me in that movie. Yeah, that'd be amazing. Right. I hate education. That'd be amazing. Nick Cage would do a good me. I really like Abed's Nick Cage impersonation from one of the Community seasons. It's horrific. So anyway, so I got on here to not grade alone, but I actually do need to grade something, or I've just continued to procrastinate. Indeed. Good seeing you, Vince. Good seeing you, buddy. Vince is a student of mine, graduated last year. Not the bees! Not the bees! Not the bees! Yeah. Wicker Man. It's terrible. It is. I appreciate that. Thank you. So yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and sprint because it's 11:15. So I'm gonna sprint till quarter till, and then if y'all still around, we'll talk some more, and I'll talk about good night, Evie, and then we'll talk about I literally forgot the other story I was gonna tell already. I just forgot it. I'm sure I'll think of something. So if you see me like scowl while I'm doing this, it's because I found a paper that's irritating. All right, so we'll do till 45, guys, and if you're still around, we'll talk some. Oops. So I predicted an A, it was an A. I predicted a B, it was a B. I'm predicting an F for this one. See if I'm right. Okay, we're back. So I can see how that can be confusing because I am talking. You're just not hearing me. And I'm not talking for you to hear. Like that's the problem. Like I'm talking to myself, which is what I do when I grade all the time. Um, these were disappointing. But however, so I was not completely correct. There were a couple that I was wrong on. I was just wrong on this one I just graded, and I was wrong on like one other. The thing is, I was wrong in their favor. So again, they should just let me give grades because I know what they're going to get. And the times I was wrong is I thought they were going to get better than they did. At no point have I predicted lower. Like, and that's the thing is I'm never surprised. Like, I'm almost never surprised. Like a kid who does poorly, oh, all of a sudden does really well. Almost never. Almost never. These are bad, and there's no reason for them to be bad because it's fifth period. Who had an extra day? Like they had an extra day to study for this because their exam was Wednesday. Second period's exam was Tuesday. Like so many people are hemorrhaging points on the bloody state mottos. There are 6 state mottos on this stupid thing, and I give them state motto. They didn't have to know it. Like I give them the freaking motto. Like 6 multiple choice questions before these right here are which of these is the state motto, or friggin' Sic Semper Tyrannis is the state motto of what? And then, the 5 choices are Virginia, New Mexico, Idaho, Mississippi, South Carolina. And so it's just those. And then I have motto. It's literally the next 5 after that are translate those mottos. What do those mottos mean? They've had that information for almost a month, and they can't be bothered. They can't be bothered to figure out that Sic Semper Tyrannis means thus always the tyrants. Dum spiro spero. While I breathe, I hope. Like this, it's not hard. Like it's not objectively difficult. I don't understand. Anyway, so I've marked a ton of those wrong. And then the dates. Some of these poor schmucks on their dates. I said, guys, you need to know which dates have later nones and ides. The ides of March on the 15th. The ides of the Roman months are generally on the 13th, except for like 4 months that have on the 15th. May, March, July, and October. You got to know that. And you always got to make sure you count one. So I just graded the paper I just graded, missed almost all of them, and they were off by 1 day. And I think that means that they forgot to count the day, like the Romans count like today. So what was today? It's the 26th, right? So the 29th, like we say that's in 3 days. It's in 4 days. It's 4 days before the 29th, according to the Romans, 26, 27, 28, 29. So I told them. And I always say, are there any questions? Any questions? You guys want to do any more practice? Y'all good? Are y'all good? Y'all want to do any more practice ones? Anybody want to do some more practice ones? No. I did get some more. So I had to, here's the saddest thing, is I had to mark off, the last question literally says, advice for incoming Latin students. And I just knew that there were going to be kids who just didn't, like, all it would take you was one bleeding section, like 1 second to think about it and give me a thoughtful response. And so I literally just had 2 people write study. No, that's wrong. That's wrong. That's stupid. That is a stupid answer. Study. Study what? Study what? How should they study? Like lazy. Like you are too lazy to think of a response. -1. Enjoy. Here are the ones that you get. I did get one that said have fun, which barely, but stay on top of work. Don't procrastinate on projects. Be respectful to Mr. Walker and have fun with it. Be respectful to Mr. Walker, indeed. Study days prior to the test. I promise it will help you. Pay attention to the lessons and have fun learning from Mr. Walker. You'll be able to remember everything and enjoy the class. But please just study. It's not hard. Do it for Walker. Then I got study your vocab, which barely passes muster. Study in advance. Study hard and have fun. Mr. Walker is so cool. Recommend 10 out of 10. 5,000 stars. Pay attention during lectures. Study regularly, not just the night before the test. Know your vocab. Mnemonics are your best friend. Make your own Quizlets, for goodness sake. Yes, it is more work than Spanish, but it's worth it. So this right here with the make your own Quizlets is they all, first of all, they think the Quizlet is a replacement for looking through my freaking slides. My slides are the key. As this next person said, study vocab, memorize Walker's slides. This will guarantee an A for all of his tests of study. Ironic, considering the test I graded wasn't an A. My slides are the key. Like, they are the key. You should not rely on other people's Quizlets, since the Quizlets are refreshers for my slides. But they all use Rachel M's Quizlets. She's the Quizlet queen, and they all use them. And I told her, I said, Rachel, next year, you have got to password lock those. You need to password lock them and make them make their own bleeding Quizlets instead of leeching off of you. Like, seriously, like, lock it. And, if you don't want to make them pay for it, which is what you should do, to make yourself side business there, is only give it to like the people that you like and that aren't going to give it to somebody else, which is like 3 people. Make your own bloody Quizlets, fools. Anyway, so yeah, so those grades were not great. Let's look at the grades that I gave on this exam. Now, this exam was not hard, guys. It was not hard, and there are 100 questions. So in order to get this, there are 100 questions. Most of them, had a few on state monos. Most of it's about Roman marriage, and there's Roman dates and Roman education, and then like 6 Latin questions in 2 sentences. The rest are culture stuff. Culture, which is literally just memorizing. Here's what we got: 60, 96. I messaged that student and said, well done. 82, pretty good. 81, decent. 89 and a half. 63 and a half. 74. 73 and a half. Which, I mean, these C's are okay. 50. 50 from a child who has no business getting a 50. This child is a B student. Like, no business having a 50. 49. 92. 81 and a half. 99. 30. 80. 92 and a half. 89. 55. 78. 70. Oh, I'm so glad you watched it. Yeah, it was a blast. It was way better than I thought it was ever going to be. And Rachel M's a machine. Rachel J is also a machine. Bless her heart. That freaking Cleese category was like 1 before the end. She was like, oh, I understand the category now. Say Cleese was a masterstroke, if I do say so myself. But oh no, that 50 is an F. But yeah, classic. It was so much fun. It was so much fun, and all the people who showed up to watch it, like, I'm so appreciative. It was a blast, and yeah, those kids are like there's brilliant. I taught Josh's sister for 3 years, and Josh actually came to my wedding because Caitlin, his sister, was invited to my wedding, and he brought this before I taught him, like the year before I taught him. He came to my wedding. And he always reminds me, he's like, I was at your wedding, Mr. Walker. I'm like, you weren't invited, Josh. But I've taught him since he was a freshman. So I've taught him for 3 years now. And I've taught both Rachels in 4 classes, and they're going to have 2 of my classes next year. So they'll be the first students in 10 years who have taken 6 classes with me. But they're brilliant. Yeah, the problem with say Cleese. So the problem with say Cleese is that there are only X amount of words that end in CLES. So I can't actually like bring that over to Book Jeopardy. I can't use it very often because there aren't enough words that end in CLES, and many of them are like scientific terms that are just like no one, like the layman, wouldn't know. So that's the problem with that one. I could probably get another one out of it, but I'm not sure I could get much more than that. I would have to modify it somehow, but I think it was so much fun. Oh no, like a 59 is an F. So yeah, so these grades aren't great, and it's pathetic. Like, what bothers me is that they all say it's hard. And I understand when someone doesn't understand a language, like part of the language, because language is challenging. Learning a new language is challenging. But when it's culture, and it's literally my slides where I ask a question that's literally like it's on the slide. The question is, just find a question. Find a question. I don't know. Like, at what age did fathers take over the education of the boys? Like, how do you miss that? Like, I've taught it to you, and you just had to read it. Which of these weddings was a fake sale of the bride? What was the sponsalia? All multiple choice. It's all multiple choice. Most slaves that taught Roman children in the late Republic came from which city or country? I don't know how you miss this much. I just don't know. Like, I don't, it's not hard. Like, it's not hard. It's not a skill. There's no excuse. There's really no excuse. Yeah, they were definitely competitive. Like, that's the most competitive the Jeopardy's been. Like, it's more competitive than Book Jeopardy. That is the correct answer. So the fourth quarter is such a piece of trash because where all the testing is. So kids are in and out. Never. So kids are in and out of my class all the time from taking tests or whatever. And teenagers have difficulty with object permanence. So if they're, that's true. But if these were kids who couldn't memorize anything, it'd be one thing. They're not. They think if they're not in my class, then the class didn't occur, and so that they just don't have to know what happened in class. Well, Josh, Rachel, and Rachel don't have problems on tests; they're fine. And anyway, so because everything, like a lot of teachers give up, they just start showing movies or start doing nothing because it is a pain. I agree, it's a huge pain to try to teach anything during this fourth quarter. But I'm not going to waste 9 weeks doing nothing. I'm just not going to do it. And so because they're in and out and because they're stir crazy, they want to go, they've got cabin fever. They want to be out of school they just stop trying. They get this attitude where it's like, senior's over, it's whatever. Because these students, like a couple of these students who have C's and one student who has an F, who got an F, have no business having that grade. Like they just didn't bother doing it. Like they just don't bother to go over it. That's 100% true. Back in Caesar's time, they memorized the Iliad because they had to. They really didn't have a freaking book. So I get it. I get it, but it's just like you just have to internalize it. You just have to know what it's about. I'm not asking them to memorize non-contextual information. It's information that has context. I don't know. They just don't go over it. They look at it right before the test because they have other things they want to do. And I understand that. I have other things I want to do all the time. And many times I do those things, which is why I get behind. But the problem is like, I eventually have to do it. I don't know. It makes me sad. Not in my class. No. Oh, heck no. No, there's no, there's the thing is, for a test like this, like if I ever let people use notes, it would be for translation where they could use their grammar notes or their vocab notes, but they still have to know how to apply it. It is pointless to do an open book test where I'm asking, like an open note test where I'm asking at what age could Roman men get married? Because what's even the point of testing that if you can just look up the answer? Like there's not even a point at that point. It's like when I call on them and I ask them to, like, I call on them and ask them a question. I'll call on them and then they look down at their notes and it's like, I'm not interested in can you read what you wrote? I'm interested as do you remember it? And it's like, I don't want you to look down at it. Tell me if you don't know, that's fine. I don't care if you can read your notes. Like, good for you. You wrote legibly. Well done. Dumb. The age of consent for Roman boys was 14. Yeah, like I said, it works for for a grammar test or a translation test. It's fine. Like I often let kids when I teach AP use open notes because it's hard enough to where like having your charts and your vocab like will help, but it won't do it for you. Like you have to know how to use it. I find that that helps a little bit. When I was learning Japanese, it helped a little bit. But I mean, most shows that don't sometimes talk way too fast. So unless you're like in the intermediate stage of the language, it doesn't really help. You can hear, sashiburi. Um, so yeah, I don't even know what I was going to say about education, other than in a few minutes we're going to go back and try to finish grading these things. I'm very sad now how late it is and how much work I still have. I still have to do miles and miles to go before I sleep, which is irritating, but it is what it is. Some of the answers people give are just also bizarre. Okay, so yeah, and these kids, most of these kids, they like me and they like my class. They just don't want to do any work. So a lot of them are there because I every year have to, especially with the level ones, I have to remind them that you do not need my class to graduate. And they're like, what? Our counselors, I'm like, why? I don't know why the counselors keep telling you that. You do not have to have a language to graduate. They're like, we need foreign language to graduate. No, you don't. You do need 2 years of a foreign language if you're going to get bright futures, which is the Florida scholarship, that you have to maintain a certain GPA and you have to take 2 years of foreign language. You have to have X amount of hours of community service, whatever. I tell them first day of school, I said, guys, if you don't care and you just want to check that box, there are easier paths to your 2 years. This is the hardest path. Go take, like, if you don't want to work, please go take something else. I am doing it for your benefit so that you don't have to drop out of the semester with an F. And every year people ignore me, and every year they drop at the semester with an F. And I don't understand why. Like, why are you taking my class? I told you at the beginning, the first day of school, when you can still change your schedule. I tell you, if you do not want to do any work, unless you are just in like naturally brilliant with, you can just hear it once and know it, you are not going to do well. You have to work. And so then what makes me the angriest is, so I have certain kids, and it's always children with parents who refuse to believe that their kids are cheaters and that their kids are bad students. So I have to have parent meetings about why their child has either an F or, in the case of some of the entitled ones, a C. And they witch and they moan and they call me down. And I have to argue with them. And I can't tell them that, hey, your child is lazy and a cheater. So I was like, oh, my kid's never had anything below an A. Oh my gosh, such a good kid. Like my student is just so, like, they're never getting anything below an A. I'm like, well, that is because they cheat their way through every other class. I know this because I hear them talk about it. Every student, except the ones really close to me, cheat at school because there's no consequences for doing it. My class is historically very difficult to cheat in. Even when I catch cheaters, like, I let them finish their test and then I grade it, and it's still an F. Like, you cheated, you still got an F, because like what you're cheating in, like what you're writing down on your desk or whatever you're cheating, is not helping you at all, because the people who needed to write that down in advance are not the people who know how to use it. So anyway, so these kids, there's been 2 of them specifically who, and no, there's a couple more from last year too. They find me the next year and they're like, oh, Miss Walker, I took Latin 2 online and I have an A in it. And I'm like, are you literally coming to me to brag that you have an A in Latin 2, which I know for a fact is harder than my class because they move like rapidamente, like they move so fast. Like I do not get a lot covered because I go slow and I teach a lot of culture and history. I know you cheated. Like, you cheated. Why are you bragging to me that you cheated your way through Latin 2? Like, you are the lowest form of, like, you have no integrity. None. You have no integrity, and you want to kind of rub it in my face. Like, okay, Cool. One day you get to look in the mirror and realize that you live a life without character and without virtue. And for that, I pity you. So there you go, to paraphrase the Emperor's Club. I hate it because they are the rudest freaking children. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like, you don't have any integrity. Congratulations. Congratulations. I'm fine because, yeah, so I don't make a lot of money. Okay, cool. I don't care because I have integrity and you don't. You're a sad, sad child. Good luck. Entitled rich kids. It's always entitled rich kids. Anyway. Hopefully this summer. So I have found Rosetta Stone is an excellent way if you have a basis. So I found Rosetta Stone Japanese really, really useful after I took Japanese classes. I'm not sure how you would learn it starting there. Yeah, I mean, there's pricks. Exactly, Jake. Yes. Oh, Matt, have you seen Emperor's Club? Yeah. So I do give zeros for cheating. But the thing is I have to let them retake it, which is just a pain. Yes, Matt. Me and you, that's it. And I lent it to my student Rachel like a month and a half ago. And I just like, it's like, it keeps me like, oh, I can't do it because I got AP test. Oh, I finally freed up. I can watch the movie. You ain't never gonna watch my movie. Give me my movie back so I can watch it because I wanted to watch it. Yeah. So the thing with the cheating is if they fail it anyway, I just give them the F because it is less work for me to just give them the F than give them a 0. So I just give them the F they earned while trying to cheat. Because if I give them a 0, then they have to. But every now and then I'll do it and I'll put in the comments. I'll say, hey, so and so can come retake it if they want. This is why they have a 0. My problem and why it's so insulting is because I talk about integrity in my class all the time, and it's challenging. Like I was talking to Jimmy on the stream at Quiz Bowl at State. It looked like they had given us too many points for a round, and state competition is like tight, and we were like neck and neck about to go to the semifinals, and it looked like they'd given us too many points. And I was like, and they're like, should we say something? I'm like, yeah, but what if we didn't say something, guys? And then Rachel just like, without missing a beat, is like, Mr. Walker, integritas. I think she was half joking, but integritas is Latin for integrity. And I was like I didn't hesitate either. I was like, you know what? You're right. Absolutely. And then I immediately went and told them. But like, even, like for a second, I was like, but this helps us win. So I understand, like, it's not easy to do the freaking right thing. Like, I understand that. I'm not saying it's an easy thing, but the thing is they don't care because having integrity doesn't matter. The end is what matters. And as long as they make a ton of money and are in power and whatever, and they don't have to listen to anybody or have any respect for anything, who cares? They don't value anything they're doing. Their parents teach them not to value anything. It's very frustrating. Now, again, I have some excellent children who have a lot of integrity. I'm really just talking about the trash ones right now. Yeah. Oh, yeah. But they cheat at university too. Oh, I say that all the time. I'm like, if y'all would spend as much time looking over the material as you spend trying to find shortcuts to not look over the material, you all would have like a letter grade higher. Yeah, exactly. I have students whose integrity is unimpeachable, and I know that. I have taught them for long enough, and I have spoken to them, and I just know that their integrity is unimpeachable. Those are children that I will literally leave the room if they're testing because I know while I'm in the bathroom, they're not going to pull out their phone. They're students that I'm like, I got called down to the freaking office. Can you stay here and watch this child who has taken this test? And I know that they will literally tell on them. Like if the kid taking the test tries to pull out a phone or do something, they will literally tell me and be like, Miss Walker, so and so did, and I'm like, cool, busted. Um, and those are kids that I trust to, there are kids who have very, very strong integrity. Nice. I agree. I don't know. Yes, metaphorically. Greek is so much harder than Latin. I agree. I agree, Jake. Absolutely. Oh, if only that would be beautiful. Okay, I have to give all of them another chance, regardless. Like I have to give all of them another chance, um, which is why my job is so hard because I have to do my job 4, 5, 6 times. Um, but I mean, yeah, yeah. Like any kid who gives a crap and who is working hard, I have never turned that kid away. The kids that I hate doing that for are children who literally didn't even bother. They didn't bother. Like they couldn't be bothered. Like they don't care. They don't work. They're missed class all the time. They're just lazy. But kids who are struggling, like who like I know are trying and got like a freaking D, like Miss Walker, can I retake? I'm like, yeah, sure. Like, do you understand it now? If you don't understand it now, there is no point in taking the retake. Do you need to come in and get some help? Almost no one ever comes and gets freaking help because I don't know why. They're mean, I guess. Um, but I like kids that care don't flounder. It's the kids who don't care that are. Yeah, yeah. I yeah, I got a lot of my I don't know, very uh iron sense of integrity through reading as well. But then I was a like Philip doesn't really understand. Philip Chase doesn't believe me. I was a jerk for a long time. And so I had like a really like warped sense of integrity. But it wasn't until I was not a jerk anymore. I decided to be wanted to be a better person. Um, that's you know um, I really like the Genki the Genki series of textbooks. It comes with a CD, and I used this. That was my textbook when I was in class, and I liked it a lot. Now there are probably better online resources by now, um, but there is a website called that deals with all things like learning Japanese, and I don't bloody know what it is. Frick! It was on. It's on my laptop, on my bookmarks on my laptop. Um, Flip. Dang it. But there is a website. I think if you Google best textbooks, best Japanese textbooks, it will pop up. The website begins with a T, and it deals with a lot of like learning Japanese stuff, and it has a bunch of resources. Yeah, cheating's rampant everywhere. One was What was the second one from? Nice. Nice. I do this a lot with my retakes because I want to friggin' read another test. So, like, can I retake it? I'm like, sure. And then I just ask them a question from the test. And if they can't tell me the answer, I'm like, why are you even here? Like, you don't, like, I'll ask them something easy. I'm like, you didn't learn the material. Why are you trying to take a retake? Because you care about your grade. Like, what are you here for? Go away. It's so stupid. That's so dumb. Kids just need to be like, hey, I'm having oh, really? Like, I don't understand. Well, I mean, I do because I just failed when I was in college. Like, rather than turn in a paper that was a C, I would just not turn anything in because I want the professor to think I was dumb. But like the kids, they know that I want them to come to me if they need assistance. I did. I lived there for a summer. It was very, very, it was awesome. Yeah, same. Yeah, it's hard to see the benefit of having integrity, because the thing is, the problem is the people that don't have integrity tend to like get things before you and more than you because they don't care about who they have to step on. Nice. Yes, I agree. I agree with that. I get that. I get that. It just frustrates me because my students know, they know that I'm not mean. Like they know that all I want is for them to try. That's it. That what frustrates me is when they just don't try. They just don't care. Yeah, I guess I just don't understand it. I don't know. I don't understand it. I'm like, if you need help, like freaking come to me for help. Like, come to me for help. Like, I'll help you. Ugh, these poor kids. Some of them I feel bad for. Many of them I do not feel bad for at all. I'm like, I know what you do in your free time, and you clearly don't care. Cool, nice. Sit in the back and fail. Success. What good discussions we have at 12:15 at night. What am I doing? I'm not gonna get these grades done. I'm gonna get yelled at because my grades aren't in. I hate being yelled at. I don't want it. It's too hard. Yeah, and you can't, like, every time I finish a lesson, I'm like, any questions? I'm like, and no one raised their hand. And so I'm like, does anyone care to articulate their confusion? And no one raised their hand. I'm like, so you all understand what we just did? And no one raised their hand. And I just laugh at them and I'm like, of course you do. And then I move on to the next thing because I can't make them ask me a question. Nice. The thing is much of what could be graded by someone else already has been. Like I've already like outsourced it. I do have some things that could be, but you know, yes. So this right here is, I learned this year, because if I have them like translating, and I like a lot of times I walk around the room. Sometimes I sit and I'm trying like prepping something for the next class, and I'm just like, if you need me, like if you have a question, call me. And if they do have a question, I immediately stand up and I walk over there. But sometimes I'll sit there struggle. Like I'll listen to them struggle. And I don't answer vocab questions because that's stupid. Know your vocab. And if you don't know it, look it up. You freaking have it written down. Go look it up. But for conceptual questions, I'm happy to, yes, tofu. Thank you. I'm happy to help them. But I listened to them struggle one time and I'm like, why don't y'all ask me? Like, this isn't a vocab question. This is a perfect question to ask me. And they're like, well, a lot of teachers, if we ask them, they yell at us. If we like ask them for help, they yell at us. I'm like, are y'all serious? Like, so your teachers sit at the desk and tell you to work, but if you ask them for help, you don't understand something you're doing, they scream at you? And they're like, yes. And I'm like, what? I'm like, okay, well, that makes sense. I understand why y'all are doing what you're doing. No, like freaking call me and I will stand up and go over there and I will walk you through what you don't understand. I'm not going to, I have never screamed at a child for getting a wrong answer ever, for asking a question. No, I don't. Like I call on someone and they get it wrong, like I don't say, no, idiot. I'm like, okay, no, I see where you did that. I see where you did that, but you see what you did here? Like that's first person. You said I sail. You said I sail. What does the S mean on it? They're like, you sail. I'm like, yes, you sail. Excellent. And like, I never yelled at a child for getting something wrong. Yes. Oh, procrastinating? 100%. I still procrastinate all the time. Hence, it's freaking 12:20 and I'm starting grades. I hope so. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely do not do this. The only people I do this to are the students that I have like a really like strong relationship with, and they know that I'm not actually being serious making fun of them, but I am making fun of them because like they are like my top students, and the other students know that they're top students, and so like I'm being a populist, and I'm bringing them like down to the level, so that, like, oh look, like even the smart kid like got it wrong. But I never do that if I do not have like if I'm not really close to the student, so that they understand I'm completely kidding. I do not understand this at all. I don't understand that at all. I do not do that in my classes. Yeah, yeah. Like, sometimes I literally go through every single way I have to explain something, and I'm like, guys, I don't like. I have broken this down into its smallest like component. There is no simpler way to explain this. Like, I've explained this 5 different ways. I don't know how else to explain it. I just don't. I don't know what you guys don't get. Like, I don't get it. Bosses are awful. It's all freaking Peter Principle stuff with bosses. What up, Chase? Anyway, I've got to get some freaking grades done. So let's go. Let's sprint again till, oh bloody heck, who knows? 50, 12:50. Let's do it. It's all narcissistic crap. Nice. GGK. All right, I'm gonna refresh my drink, and I'm gonna turn the air on. See you, Thiago. Thanks for tuning in. Bye, Dairy. Okay, I'm gonna turn the air on because it's bleeding hot up in Chaw. So I wish some of the kids who are normally on the stream were here to respond to this, uh, because I would love for you to see their reaction if I said that I was considering a change of job for next year. So ask this question again when my kids are on the stream. Oh, I guess we're on sprinting now. Sorry about that. These are not good, and it makes me quake with rage because I have had 4. I have a few more left to grade, maybe 6 more left to grade out of 50 kids. Well, less because I had seniors, so maybe out of like 40 kids. Yeah, out of 40 kids. I've had 4 of them not miss any state monos. The easiest thing on there. Literally the easiest freaking thing on there. State monos, easiest thing on there. I just graded 3 in a row. I missed every single one. Okay. This is sad. Absolutely sad. Absolutely sad. So whatever. What's up, Karen? Oh man, you're not out yet? I am I'm hoping that those last 13 days are fine. Okay, so you two, I do not know who you are because your screen name is not, it does not tell me who you are. You must let me know who you are. But that's at our school. In their quarter 3 final grade was to write in. Did they at least have to write it in Spanish? Oh, okay. Oh, I literally just asked that. Yeah. Anyway, did y'all get stuff done when you were sprinting? In English? Oh gosh. Who? Oh yeah, Nicholas. And then freaking, I don't know who this is, but that's ridiculous. So yeah, anyway, as you can see, Wanton Soup here does not want me to leave the classroom. I had a great year. And just grading these papers, watching Belle get a new computer. Listen, I'm just like, man, what am I doing? What am I doing? Like, what am I doing? Nice, but browsing, nice. Yeah, I'm gonna talk for a few minutes. Then I'm gonna jump off of here, and I'm gonna finish grading these exams before I go to bed. So these last 6 papers I'm gonna grade, and then I'm gonna put them in so that the children can see how poorly they did. And then I'm going to go to bed, and then I'm just gonna get up and finish the rest of the morning. I hate this. I hate grades. They are not. I don't know. What are you reading? A. Cosby? I'm currently reading Daughter of Redwinter by Ed McDonald. It's an arc. It's the new series where the guy wrote Blackwing. It comes out end of June. I haven't read in a couple days because I've been busy with this. It's okay so far. I'm only on chapter 5. It's okay. I'm hoping it gets better. Blackwing was better so far. Very cool. I think I have that on my list, that one. I love book browsing recently. So I'm on a kick of reading like actual like history, which is cool because I haven't wanted to read that in a long time. But I find that making very cool. I find that making I've heard that. I find that making slides, like I highlight my history books and then I write slides for my class. And then when I teach it, that is nice. That's what helps me remember it. Like just reading history books, it's not great for retention, at least for me. I have to like actually teach it and like write stuff down. So I'm currently, now that my class is over, like next year in classical studies, I'm not teaching Alexander, I'm teaching Augustus. So I have to write Augustus slides. But because of that, I didn't finish Alexander this year. So I'm reading my Alexander books like as books now. And I really want to make slides for them. But if I do that, I'll spend all summer making slides for a class that I'm not teaching, and I won't have any Augustus slides. So I have to stop and I have to shift over to Augustus and start writing Augustus slides, which will, it's fine. I just haven't taught Rome in classical studies yet. I've taught Greece every time, but Augustus is on the curriculum. It's Alexander and Augustus are the two things that I choose to teach out of the curriculum. So I have to, so yeah, I have to, oh man, I wish Rachel M was in here to see this. So my, Rachel J, the other student, identifies, she's like an Augustus Kinney. She likes Augustus a lot. And they get in fights because Rachel M says this, like, she and I agree, like that like Augustus, like, get out of here. You're the master delegator. Like freaking Agrippa's out winning his freaking war for him, and Augustus is having an anxiety attack and laying like on his back on the beach because he can't even. He's just too nervous. So he's laying on the beach while Agrippa's off winning a freaking war. Agrippa was the man. Oh, I hate the fact that Agrippa died. Like, if Agrippa had succeeded Augustus, I mean, maybe he'd just been a crap politician, but like without Agrippa, there is no Augustus. There just isn't. And so Rachel J gets really, really angry when we trash talk Augustus. But I mean, Augustus was brilliant. I mean, he's an absolute brilliant politician. He's just kind of crap. I've watched part of it. I wish there weren't so many. Like, believe it or not, people doing it all the time is not actually super important to the thrust of history. So I don't know why it has to be everywhere. Like, can I just follow these people doing stuff and not like doing it? Oh, Eric Yang. No, Eric Yang, you don't have any foolish behavior, dude. You're primo. Yeah, completely agree. Yeah, I don't really like watching stuff with a ton of people doing it. Like, I just don't. Like, why? Because they end up having I just don't like it. Like, just can you show me the freaking Rome stuff? Oh yeah, you gotta get I Claudius. I Claudius is good. I Claudius is really good, Madison. Yeah, I liked Caesar what I've seen. Yes. I don't understand. Like, Atia isn't even important to the life of Caesar. Like, they made Atia way more important than she actually is. Yeah, she's a helicopter mom over Augustus, but I mean, yeah, same thing. It's why I haven't freaking watched all Spartacus. I have not. So, no, I mean, I agree. Like, he does get partial credit in choosing the right people, but okay, yes. Like, we were talking about, so Jake said, will the Augustus lessons teach about how Agrippa like carried Augustus? And then I was talking about how Rachel J gets really mad when we say that, Augustus didn't do anything. It was all Agrippa. And she gets really, she gets really, really upset about it. Hopefully I do. Claudius is great. If you want to borrow it, I can let you borrow it. I have it. Yeah, you definitely don't have to worry about Agrippa. Like Agrippa was the man. Like Agrippa. I'm screenshotting this and sending it to to Rachel J. Um, I mean, he kind of is. I talked about like he laid on his back in the freaking beach while Agrippa's fighting a war. It's so ridiculous. Someone else, Rachel, also asked. Cyril asked earlier if I was still considering a change of job, and I told him make sure to ask while my students were on, so that y'all could express your disapproval with that. Eric Yang did. Eric Yang said, "Please forgive the fools." It's very amusing. Yeah, I haven't seen Spartacus. There you go. Yeah, I just quoted your I just put up your comment about like there you go. Oh, he 100% did. 100%. 100%. Augustus is a rube. Like he's a rube, but also had a really like he's just had a really powerful general and a propaganda minister. And Maecenas gets mad props for refusing the senatorial order. He's like, I don't want to be a senator. I'm good. Like, I'm good. I'll go ahead and stay an equestrian. Dang, I wish I could see this comment, but I appreciate. Thank you for the. I thought I saw a comment, but I just couldn't see it anymore. I mean, really, I just don't need people like being naked all over everything I watch. Like, I just don't. Does this imply that I can't improve my mental health until like I have to stay mentally ill until then? Which one? Okay, no. Augustus was a brilliant administrator. He was a brilliant administrator. That's what you're saying. Before you logged on, Jake was saying peacetime emperor, 10 out of 10. Like he was a brilliant administrator and he was excellent. He was an excellent politician. He was an amazing politician. The problem is politicians are snakes, and Augustus was absolutely a snake. Like he was absolutely a snake. And 300. Guess what? Xerxes isn't Dalsum from Street Fighter. So no, I haven't. I haven't gotten that far. Holy crap! Holy crap! Yeah, we do, Madison. So you are saying that I just have to stay mentally ill for next year? Oh yeah, thank you. I forgot about that. Yeah, making pain. What are you doing besides not coming to play Gloomhaven on Tuesdays? Fair enough. I will remain mentally ill for your sake. Oh, 100%. Like brilliant propagandist, brilliant image manager. He was a brilliant politician. He was just I mean he's just a snake. And Agrippa was very stalwart and won his wars while he's passing. I was about to go. Like I was about to go, and then I started talking about what I was reading. Yeah, because I'm making Augustus slides now, and so okay, so Julius Caesar, I'm a huge fan of. I'm a huge Julius Caesar stan, as all my students in this thing know. I always defend Caesar, despite the fact that Caesar was a bit of a prat. Also, Claudius is way underrated. Claudius was brilliant. Um, yes, nice. How was your stalking? Was it successful? Trajan, I also really like. I don't like his stupid haircut, but I do like Trajan. Vespasian is probably my favorite non-Julio Claudian emperor. Like I love Vespasian. I do. look, I will get behind Agrippa. Like someone needs to, like, this freaking, this new craze with like these retellings and stuff, like Madeline Miller and all this like myth retelling. There needs to be one of these, but like with like the emperors, like retellings with that, like, you know. Oh, 100%, absolutely genocidal. But he was also one of the luckiest people. The only other person I've seen who's as lucky as he is freaking Alexander. Um, Absolutely lucky. And yes, he had balls, 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 balls of steel. Coward, coward. That's a lack of commitment. That's a lack of commitment. Trajan is not a fashion icon. That freaking hair. I would love to. Who is this? Yeah, I would love to write like an Agrippa series. Like I would just love to write books like and just like humanize them or bring them up to date a little bit. So Alexander, I don't actually like Alexander very much. I prefer his dad. Uh, so first of all, Pericles is one of my favorite historical figures of all time. I love Pericles. I love Pericles. Look at this. That's right, John C. Who is this? Okay, so classical studies is, and Rachel, correct me if I'm wrong. Like, correct me if I'm saying something that's not from a student's perspective. Classical studies is more information than Latin. Like Latin, the tests are not on as much. Classical studies is on a lot of info. So I think it's more work, but it's really fun, I think. Yes, yes, guys, Alexander was 5 feet tall. He was a wee lad. Little bitty Alexander. It's so cute. Pat him on the head. Oh man, that would be awesome. Yeah, there is a shocking dearth of historical fiction about either of these two periods, and what there is usually like, I don't know, unimpressive. I guess that I don't really like all of it. I know you're an anonymous Walker student. Reveal yourself. We're not going to answer your questions anymore. He doesn't look anything like Colin Farrell, and his mom, Olympia Yas, doesn't look anything like Angelina Jolie. You can. He's so wee. Dude, Philip II of Macedon is like, I love Philip II of Macedon. Um, and I also love Demosthenes, who is one of the worst, like the worst people, and yet so incredibly entertaining. Yes, I haven't read any of those yet. Yeah, I love Philip. I was reading in the Arian book. Oh, so again, back to the Alexander stuff that I'm reading. I'm also reading Arian, his Anabasis of Alexander. Um, so like I'm reading a chapter of my biographies. So I have one by Philip Freeman and one by Anthony Everett, who is my favorite. And then I'm reading an Arian like up to that point, so I can get like a fuller picture because there's really good maps and stuff in the Arian book. That's awesome. Yeah, freaking Diogenes. Alexander's like, if I were not Alexander, I would want to be Diogenes. And Diogenes, the philosopher, that if you don't know about Diogenes, what are you doing? Diogenes like, if I were not Diogenes, I would still want to be Diogenes. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, 100%. Madison, I thought you said Demosthenes was sexy. Like, is Demosthenes not sexy? Madison hates Demosthenes. I love Demosthenes. So good. Did my phone die? Is it dead because it has no battery? Or is it dead because it doesn't work? Oh, interesting. Let's see. Um, Is it really? Like, is that about Philip of Macedon? Because if it's about Philip of Macedon, I'm gonna go read it right now. And if it's about Philip of Macedon, does it have a Demosthenes character? What's the house like? Is it like, well, Demosthenes? He's so. The story. Oh, gotcha. Yes, I told us. I got to tell that story while he's laying on the ground near his jar that is his house. Man, guys, I was gonna go to bed. Like, I didn't realize. Like, do I just need to have more like history streams? Is that what we need to do? Like, do I need to have streams where y'all jump in here and we just talk about freaking ancient history? Because that's good stuff. Demosthenes has the Demosthenes. My favorite Demosthenes story is he's talking about crap about Philip of Macedon, and then he's sent as part of the peace emissary to Pella to talk with Philip. And Philip knows that Demosthenes has been delivering these freaking polemics against him, and Demosthenes starts giving his speech. And Demosthenes was bad at improvising. Like, he was bad at improv. So all of his speeches he prepared, like very, very carefully prepared. He was not he was not an extempore speaker. And so he starts giving his speech, and Philip's there, and he blanks. Like, Demosthenes, he just blanks. And Philip, who knows that this man's been like talking crap about him in Athens, is so nice. And it's just like, you know what, Demosthenes, you're doing great. Like, you're doing fantastic, bud. Why don't, like, just take a breath? You're doing great. Just start over. Start over from the beginning. I'll listen. Start over. We'll pretend like I didn't even hear that, the opening part. And so Demosthenes gets the second bite at the apple to deliver his speech, and he faints. And he freaking just faints. He just faints in the middle of the court because he's just the worst. Demosthenes, like, that he can't be a real person, and yet he was. The stuff that he does is absolutely like cartoonish. It's phenomenal. I love Demosthenes. I know, right? I freaking know. I know. That's what I need to do. Instead of having history videos, like, I need to have history streams, because then people can like comment and I can respond to them like I'm in a class. Like, that's part of the problem with like recording history. It is very. Philip's being so nice. He's being so nice. Like, part of the thing with recording history videos is that I don't have the like response from my class that I normally do when I'm teaching this stuff. Absolutely, for the sake of the people. You did good work today. Good job, like busting through the phalanx, the holes in the phalanx to get closer to the stage. Well done. I'm really going to consider that, because that way because then I can actually like answer questions in like the chat. Philip was definitely a Chad. And respond to stuff. That is very interesting. I think I'm going to do that. I think that's how I'm going to do the history videos is stream them. I would need like to prep stuff. I mean, I have my slides, so I could just show you my slides when I have like a picture, like, because I need to show maps. I got to show maps and crap, which is stuff that I can, like in a video, I can edit a map in and pop up a map, be like, hey, look at this. This is where this is. Because when I'm talking, I mean, I need maps. Like, all of you don't. All of you don't. Not everybody knows where every place in Greece is. So I constantly have to reference maps. So if I could find a way around that, if I could find a way to reference thank you, Eric Yang. If I could find a way to. Philip of Macedon was more ripped than Philip. Philip is taller than Philip of Macedon, though. Well, no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't subject them to the yellow slides the whole time, but I would if I needed to show a map. I'd pop that up, be like, all right, guys, here we go. Busting up the thing. Or I could just put the slides up and be like, okay, guys, listen up. This is such a good idea. This sounds so fun. This sounds so fun. Dang. Because I was wondering how I was going to deal with the loss of the the response from the class or whatever. The problem is this background's ugly. Look at this. This is an ugly background. It's not as nice as my bookshelf background, but I can't stream from in there. So yeah. So I can just lecture, be like, hold on, bust it out. Bust out something. Let me find something. Hold on. Where they at? There we go. Grease part 10. Yes, exactly. I don't have to edit them. Absolutely. The interaction, like, be like, okay, guys, so let's talk about, news layout. Where I'll share my screen. Share screen. Boom. Look at that. Boosh. Look at that. No, I am more important than that little slide. Look at that. Look, now I'm over here at the bottom. Ancient Greece. Part 10. Granicus, Miletus, and Halicarnassus. So, he leaves Antipater in charge, et cetera, et cetera. Here's what he brings in. Brings a team of specialists. What happens if I go to slideshow? Oh, look at that. Look at that. Engineers. First general in history to establish a PR department. Look at that. How impressive is that? Anyway, it's more energetic than that. But I love the yellow. Look at this. I'm not going to... Look, I am not going to take this slander about these yellow. Yes, you can insert your head cannons, of course. Yeah, so this is the engineering teacher up here. So anytime I talk about Alexander's engineers, I throw up Mr. Bell, who's the engineering teacher, and I pretend that his 7th period class, which is his 4th level engineers, I pretend like they're the ones doing it. I'm like, okay, and so Mr. Bell's 7th period class carves a road through the mountain or whatever. I love my yellow slides. Don't you trash them, Madison? Isn't the yellow superior? Oh yeah, yeah, you're right. So I love my yellow slides. I love them. But I wouldn't have to have the slides up. I could lecture like this, talk like this, or I could throw it up like that. Look at the little thing right there. Oh, that one's bigger. I like being at the bottom. Oh, I'm not even on that one. No, I gotta be here. Talking about it. Anyway. Yeah, they haven't experienced how terrible the purple slides are. So the yellow ones are the best. I love how bright they are. I love how bright they are. Like, you people who don't like it, like, what is this? It's so bright. Inside a dandelion. Brutally yellow. It burns my eyes. Highlighter yellow. Aggressively yellow. They are incredibly yellow. I love them. His PR director was named Callisthenes. No, it's super easy. I just like that it's bright. I love it. When I see like a white slide now, I'm like, what can I do with a white slide? I know. I'm about to get off. I meant to get off like literally like 30 minutes ago. But they've been talking to me about history. Thalric would definitely like them. What else we got on the slide? Student of Aristotle. Actually, I think it's actually Aristotle's nephew. Yes, Alexander and his science team that he brought because he had to study like he was obsessed with like studying science and like specimens and crap. Where's the peacock story? There it is. He saw a peacock for the first time and then literally passed a law that no one could attack any peacocks. He was obsessed. Like, he was obsessed with freaking these peacocks. Anyway. Freaking Alex, little wee Alexander being like, "Oh, look at that bird!" I love imagining it. There we go. I think post-its are actually slightly less yellow than my slides. Fun stuff. Anyway, guys, yes, they can. They most certainly can, and it fills me with rage. I don't like the Byzantines. We've discussed this, though. Yes, you definitely are. Alexander's so late in the game. Like, notice how that was part 10. Uh, but you guys have given me such a good idea with streaming these, because then I do get the interaction, and then yeah, people can see the comments and stuff like that. That's awesome. Oh, guys, I'm so excited about this. If you have any ideas on what I can do about like this ugly background, like look at my ugly background. Like, it's just, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. I suppose I could just teach from here. The thing is, I could also stand if I needed to. I stand. I like talking about this like standing, so then I can do like, I don't know. Sometimes I have to like limp or drag a foot or something because I don't know. Seriously, like picture it. Like the thing like puts its like huge feathers out with the eyes, and little wee Alexander just is, and then he like, no one can mess with one or they're dead. I mean, that's probably true. I just don't like them. Oh, they made him way taller in the statues. Indeed. That's what I picture. That's what I picture. I picture like the plumage being bigger than Alexander. Yes. I picture Alexander's tiny. Dang. Yeah, so the problem with the Byzantines is I don't like when the Catholics got involved in the empire. So like when freaking Bishop Ambrose is like bossing around Theodosius, I'm like, what is happening? Like, what is happening here? You know? So I know what they call themselves. It doesn't mean anything. Like I would call them the Byzantines. They're not Roman. Instead of a huge statue of Alexander, Caesar, who weeps all the time. Caesar cries all the time too. That's because the other kids say it's because he's a Cancer, because Caesar was born like July 10 or 13 or something like that. So he was a Cancer, and they're like, that's why he cries. I guess, I don't know, zodiac stuff, but yeah, I hate Constantine. I hate Constantine. The thing is, like I'm a Christian, and I don't like the Catholic Church meddling in my Roman history. Like I just don't. Like I don't like it. Like stop. Like stop, Pope Leo, or whatever you're doing. Like separate them. Are they? Oh well. I mean, it is. It is. It is. It's just not. I don't know. It's not. It's not. It's not. It's just not the Roman history I like. Like I just like the West also, more than Persian stuff. So once the capital of the empire isn't in Rome, like even at the end of the West when they moved it to freaking Ravenna, I'm just like, what are we even doing? Like, what are we doing? To be honest, to be honest, and I talked about this all the time when with my student who graduated a couple years ago, because he loved the empire. I don't really like the empire period. Like the Republic is my favorite period, especially like late Republic, like last century BC, Caesar's time, and shortly before, and then the Punic Wars. So I like the Republic, and early empire I like. So I do like the Julio Claudians and the Flavians. I don't like Marcus Aurelius because whatever, Marcus Aurelius, and Commodus is a jackwad. But like I said, I like Vespasian, and Trajan's fine. Really, really, Trajan is the extent. Um, I'm not an empire guy. I'm a republic. Yeah, I talk about Byzantium in my class all the time, which is just pre-Constantinople. Yes, this is exactly what when I teach the last century BC. It's exactly the point. It's like so many larger than life figures in one location. Yeah, yeah, I know. They're from the Romania is what Dacia, across the Danube. Marcus, here's my problem with Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius is fine, but one, his son broke the empire. Like his idiot son broke the empire. So that's first. Second, dude wrote some stuff down in a journal, and all of a sudden he becomes like this paragon of stoicism. And so I have to watch all these people online, these like faux Vikings, quote Marcus Aurelius all the time, and then post a meme about strong men create strong times create weak men. And I'm just like, stop, guys, please stop doing it. I've met so many douchebags who quote Marcus Aurelius all the time, so it's not really his fault. Hannibal is brilliant too. Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, correct. Also, again, it's also later than I like. Like it just like the empire just starts changing. Correct, absolutely. Man, guys, I can talk about this all freaking night, but like I literally have to go to bed because I have to get up and go to school and actually finish grades. That's so awesome. Thank you guys for coming out. This was a lot of fun. Um, yeah, you guys didn't get to do gladiator fights either. Y'all didn't get to do anything. Y'all were the suck COVID class. It wasn't y'all's fault. That did suck. No gladiators because of COVID. Your first Latin one. No chariot race in Caesar versus Senators because it was Latin two, and it was a horrible last year with Baylink and Latin two as a whole. Not you or Anna Marie, obviously, but like, ugh, those classes. Yeah, I mean, you can blame Cato the Elder. It's really freaking Marcus Porcius Cato the Elder. I definitely will. I will not schedule one. I will not just like jump in one. I'll schedule it in advance. Um, yeah. Once my weekend's settled, it'll be fine. Yeah, you guys did. You guys totally did. Also, let me know. Like, let me know if you want to borrow I Claudius. Like at some point, I can run it to you. Like, I don't know. I don't know if you're gonna be out. If you're gonna be out near the school tomorrow, um, I can bring it or whatever. Or just make sure you get back. I haven't run Shelf Space has run a readathon before. I'm not super good at I, true story, Soraya. I was emptying my bookshelves and I found Taya's quote book, and I looked through it, and that was the first time in you know years that I thought of the meme Magister. Like true story. But I just like yesterday saw it. Yes, he loved peacocks. No, I actually don't have any lecture slides that include the emperor. The lecture will mostly be Greece, um, because that's what I had people vote, and Greece won by a large margin, like a 2 to 1 margin. Um, so I'll be doing Greece first. I'll eventually get to Rome, but I'll definitely be doing Greece. Cool. If you can't find it, please let me know and you can borrow it. So we'll be talking about Greece and go through essentially like the founding of democracy through the Peloponnesian War, through Athenian hegemony, Spartan hegemony, Theban hegemony, to rise of Philip of Macedon through Alexander the Great, and then I'll switch over to Rome. Yeah, I had a vote on my channel. It was like 2-1. Okay, when I get to Claudius, I mean, I would not start with the empire, but yes, when I get to Emperor Claudius, I will absolutely have pictures of my cat Claudius. So, yes, thank you. They will be pleased to know that they had a good time. I'm trying to convince Rachel M to come back and do another one, because Rachel J and Josh are ready to do another one. But Rachel M is one of these go out on top kind of people. Whatever, just come freaking do it. So yeah, guys, I'm so excited to do these. It's going to be so much fun on a stream. It's going to be so fun. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. That's going to make me do them like soon, because it's just I don't know, just the colossal amount of effort to put them together was going to be was just, I don't know, I was struggling. But yeah, this will be fun. We got like a live kind of lecture type thing, and you're going to ask questions and I can answer them. It'd be fun. Oh my gosh, it'd be so fun. All right, guys. So I really have to go to bed because it's like 1:35. Yeah, absolutely. And I'll get to teach about 300 and how it's not right. But yeah, it'll be fun, guys. Okay, cool. It's 1:35. I got to go to bed. I got to finish these last 6 exams here before I go to bed. So guys, thank you. I agree. Thank you, guys. This has been a blast, a freaking blast. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye, guys. Thanks.